a kid with ADHD to do something. You have to challenge their ability to do it. Instead of saying, hey, take this loaf of bread and put it on the kitchen counter, say, are you able to take this loaf of bread and put it on the kitchen counter without hurting it? 100% of the time, they're like, you're damn right I can do that. You can't tell a kid with ADHD to do something. You have to challenge their ability.
So my wife have ADHD. My wife will be in the middle of making a sandwich, so she'll grab the bread, open it.
Rule to do to your ADHD friend, but I promise you're doing them a favor. Text your ADHD friend. Say, hey, you home? Say, yeah, what's up? Say, hey, I'm going to stop by in like an hour. I'll see you soon. And then completely don't answer after that. Completely ghost them for like at least 3 hours. And you're thinking, why? Why would I possibly do this to my friend? Your ADHD friend's house is probably a mess. Maybe not like a huge mess, but there's probably enough of a mess that they've been looking at something that they're like, I need to clean that, but they haven't cleaned it yet. And they just keep kind of walking past it. And they know they could clean their entire house top to bottom in about 43 minutes. Like when someone texts you, hey, I'm coming over in about an hour. And they weren't going to be doing anything important for the next hour. So they're going to get up in a complete freaking panic, and they're going to super clean their house in 43 minutes. And then when you hit them back up and you're like, oh, yo, I'm not coming over actually, my bad. Now, the way normal people work, normal people will be like, what the hell? You just like flaked on me. ADHD motherfuckers are going to be like, I didn't want to see you anyway. I love you, but I was not ready for that. But also now my house is clean. Just throwing that out there for you guys. This might seem cruel to do to your ADHD friend, but I promise you're cruel to do to your ADHD friend, but I promise you're doing them a favor. Text your ADHD friend. Say, hey, you home? Say, yeah, what's up? Hey, I'm going to stop by in like an hour.
But my son Kyle was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 5 years old. He went to his eye doctor for his annual eye exam. The doctor recommended I see a neurologist because he wouldn't sit still or focus long enough to read the letters on the wall. And this wasn't the first time I heard this. Every school he attended from preschool would complain about his behavior, not being able to focus, and being super hyper. At the time I took him to see the neurologist, I was a juvenile detention officer, and I saw what the meds did to kids that was ADHD. So even though I went to the appointment, I already knew that I was not going to put him on any medication. And the doctor was very upset when I asked her for natural remedies. Her exact words were, do you think your God is going to come down and heal him? I looked at her, I smiled, and I said yes. After leaving the appointment, I signed him up for football. And it definitely helped burn a lot of the energy that he had. But I was still getting calls home about his behavior. And when I continued doing my research, I realized that what we eat is the number one cause of ADHD. At the time, we were all overweight, so this encouraged me to put everybody in the house on a weight loss journey. I also found out the dangers of Red 40, so I banned hot Cheetos and Takis. Then this was not an easy journey. I've been eating hot Cheetos and hot sausage since I was a little girl, and I started selling it in high school. I also make him take magnesium and lion's mane on a daily basis, which helps with mental clarity, mood, and memory. We also make him build and fix everything around the house, which helps him with his motor skills. This video is to encourage you to not give up on your child. They are gifts from God. I know y'all might not know this, but my son Kyle was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 5 years old. He went to his eye doctor for his annual eye exam. The doctor recommended I see a
My favorite 2 supplements for ADHD, anxiety, and depression as a naturopathic doctor. For ADHD, omega-3 fatty acids, which are excellent for the brain and for improving focus and concentration. And number 2 is magnesium glycinate, which is excellent for the nervous system, and magnesium is often depleted in those with ADHD. The first supplement for anxiety is one called Gabatone, which includes valerian extract as well as L-theanine, which are excellent for reducing nervous system hyperactivity and reducing anxiety. Number 2 is magnesium glycinate, which is also very effective for anxiety, very effective for calming and relaxing the nervous system. And the first supplement for depression is vitamin D3 with K2, which is excellent for improving vitamin D levels, which many of us are deficient, which can significantly contribute to depression. And number 2 for depression is a B complex with activated or methylated B vitamins like methylfolate and methylcobalamin, which are excellent for energy production as well as neurotransmitter production. And if you're interested in purchasing any of these supplements, comment supplement below and I'll send you the link to our storefront. My favorite 2 supplements for ADHD, anxiety, and depression as a naturopathic doctor. For ADHD, omega-3 fatty acids, which are excellent for the brain and for improving focus and concentration. And number 2 is magnesium glycinate, which is excellent for the nervous system, and magnesium is often depleted in those with ADHD. Which includes valerian extract as well as L-theanine, which are excellent for reducing nervous system hyperactivity and reducing anxiety. Number 2 is magnesium glycinate, which is also very effective for anxiety, very effective for calming and relaxing the nervous system.
We're not good at being on time. And it's not because we're lazy or irresponsible or all the moral turpitude adjectives that get hung on us. It's just in our brain, we have a qualitatively different sense of time than the average person.
Ned, hello Will.
Our world, there are basically 2 times. There's now and not now. So you say the paper's due next week, not now, and it's gone. And until not now is almost now, and then we panic and we get it done in a panic at the last minute. And unwittingly, what we're doing is we're self-medicating, because in a panic, you put out a lot of adrenaline. Well, adrenaline is chemically very similar to the meds we use to treat ADD. So without knowing what you're doing, you're self-medicating. And in the world of people who don't understand that, they think our being late is evidence that we don't care. And so we get marked down or fired. And the same thing for filing and putting things away and being organized. We think that's, again, if you're organized, that's godly, and if you're not, that's slovenly. And so we want to get rid of the slovenly. And when you do that, you get rid of your most gifted people. What is more important to you, business owner, that you have everyone on time and neat, or that you have people coming up with new ideas and advancing the world? I mean, if you're in business just to display neatness and punctuality, great. You won't make any money, but you'll feel proud. If you allow ADD people their head and be late and be messy, you'll come up with all the bright new ideas that we come up with all the time. We're not good at being on time. And it's not because we're lazy or irresponsible or all the moral turpitude adjectives that get hung.
Treatments for the 7 types of ADD or ADHD type 2. Inattentive ADD, short attention span, distractibility, not very hyperactive or restless, just trouble getting going. What we often see on the scans, decreased prefrontal cortex activity, decreased cerebellar activity. So what really helps them is coordination exercises, physical exercise, a higher protein, lower simple carbohydrate diet, stimulating supplements can be really helpful, like L-tyrosine, and sometimes stimulants like Ritalin or Adderall can be just incredibly helpful. Treatments for the 7 types of ADD.
Interesting thing about this ADHD thing is because you're coming from low baseline dopamine levels, all the addictive stuff that can give you quick dopamine, sugar, porn, social media, alcohol, vaping, these things create even bigger highs than the average person. So when you drink a drink of alcohol, when you scroll on your phone, you're getting a bigger elevation of pleasure in your brain, which is why it's so difficult to navigate this modern world as an ADHD brain. The alternative side of that to look at is if you do something that is of value to you, so you successfully complete a project and you find out a specific aspect of your work that you really like doing, or you get really into an artistic project like digital art, or you start getting good at a musical instrument, just like you got these big spikes off the quick behaviors, you also get bigger spikes than the average brain on these challenging behaviors. Your dopamine is going to go through a bigger climb effectively. And it means that those with ADHD, if they find something to channel the dopamine into, are actually going to experience greater levels of performance. And I imagine for most of the time, ADHD actually was the high-performing human individuals within our world, but then trying to fit into school in our modern society has become really, really challenging because it's not necessarily how the ADHD brain works, because ADHD likes hyper-focus on one thing,